Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia, Season 4, Episode 23. So yeah, we are back with another new episode. And I've heard some things about this. I don't know any specific details, but I've heard two things specifically about it. One, someone on the Discord server, on my Discord, which, by the way, link to in the description below if you haven't joined it yet. Someone, I don't remember who, but they said that this episode could have easily been the finale of the season. That if they just switched things up a little bit, it could have easily been the season finale. Which is interesting to say in and of itself, and definitely gets me interested to see what's going to happen. Especially considering there's 2 more episodes after this one. The second thing is that I have a friend who told me I'm going to cry. Because she knows me. She knows my reactions towards this show and others. But she's told me that, yeah, this is going to be an episode that's going to make me cry. And again, I don't know the context behind any of this. I know, like, no context behind the episode, luckily enough. But that is definitely why I'm getting to it right away this week, as I usually tend to do, so I can avoid any future spoilers that might end up appearing on my social media. And so this kind of implies, both of these things together implies a couple things for me. One, if this could have been seen as the finale of the season, we're having the performance this episode. Which I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed at, because as you guys know, I thought that was going to be at the end of the season. But as long as they do it right, that's still fine. And I'm just wondering what that means the last 2 episodes of the season are going to be. But that's definitely kind of implied at that for me. If this could be the final episode of the season, it has to get to that performance and everything. And if it's going to make me cry, in turn with it's getting to the performance, I think I know what it is that's supposedly going to make me cry. I think it's going to be Aerie. Considering everything Aerie's been through and everything, and just her entire character arc since the last arc going into this one. And honestly, that's the only thing I could think of at this point that would make me cry. Aerie's going to enjoy the performance, and that was expected. That's expected. But she's going to truly, legitimately smile, and it's going to be this beautiful moment. And again, I don't know exactly how this is going to go down. I don't know any details. I'm just guessing based off of these 2 little things I have been told. Hell, I could be completely wrong. Something could go very wrong for all I know, and I could cry out of frustration. I don't know. But yeah, I really don't know, like, how the final 2 episodes are going to go. I mean, yeah, the final episode's probably going to have some setup for next season, for the next arc. But still, we have 2 more full episodes after this one. I'm just wondering exactly what we're going to get with that. I think I mentioned it in the last My Hero episode reaction, but I'll bring it up here again just in case. As for the new movie, the second My Hero Academia movie, I will not be reacting to it anytime in the foreseeable future. And the reason for this is simply because the movie takes place multiple arcs in the future. Like, there are, like, I think 3 arcs in between where we're currently at and where the movie takes place. And I would rather not try to skip ahead and possibly get spoiled on important things from these next few arcs. And I think I'm just going to wait. So it'll probably be after season 5 that I'm able to get to the movie. And I know some of you might say, like, oh, it doesn't actually spoil anything, it's not a big deal or whatnot, but it's like, this is what I'm choosing to do. I would rather not risk it, especially because for me, spoilers are definitely a lot more constitutes a spoiler than for some people. And it's just, I would rather watch it in order anyways. Like the first movie, the first of these two movies, took place between seasons 2 and 3. And it came out during season 2 while that was still airing. So it's like, I could watch that at that point. Or was it 3 and 4? I think it was 2 and 3. But either way, I could watch it at that point because it took place at that point. But yeah, I'm not going to watch this new movie when it takes place multiple arcs in the future. Again, it could just spoil too many things with certain characters and their developments, new abilities, especially with Deku. So yeah. But I'm excited to see what this episode is, to see how this kind of starts to close out the arc. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, and especially if it does actually make me cry, because I've said in the past, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with episodes making me cry. It just means the episodes are doing something right. Either way, thank you so much, and we're just going to get this going. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so yeah, kind of what I expected there with things going into it. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit, by the way. Regarding like what was gonna happen this episode because of the things I heard and all. Yeah, we had the performance. It was fantastic. And we had Airy smile and be happy, like truly, legitimately happy. And it was fantastic, and yes, it made me cry. But there was other stuff in this episode too. And I'm not talking about the other stuff with the festival. There was other stuff that really made this episode shine. First of all, I did not expect it to have much more of the entire Gentle La Brava stuff, but it did. And it was fantastic. It continued to show that after all of this, Gentle was done. He realized that all of this that he had been doing was for himself, and for once he had found someone to want to be better for. Someone he did truly love, and who loved him back. Someone who gave him that feeling of worthiness that he had been missing his entire life because of his quirk, his schools and parents and everyone rejecting him and not remembering him. He wanted to feel worthy. He wanted to feel like someone cared enough to know who he was. And he got that. And he realized that after this fight with Deku, and he was fine with turning himself in. He was fine with that. Because he just wanted it to be over. He wanted, as long as it would protect the girl he loved, that's what mattered to him. He was willing to turn himself in for that. And even though it didn't quite work, because she just continued to straight up uh, acknowledge that she's in on this, that she fully loves him. Um, we see in the end that he has that he has come to a full conclusion, that he understands what he was doing was wrong, and I think he always did. But he acknowledges it now more than ever, and has. I think that we're not going to see him return as a villain. If he does return at some point in the future, I think he's been reformed. I fully believe that. And not because of Deku necessarily, although yes, Deku did help. But it's more because he came to realize what was truly important in all of this. That what he truly got from all of this was Aiba, La Brava. That she was the true goal in the end. Again, just that love and acceptance, what he really wanted. And it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see that they are that deeply in love with each other, like truly in love with each other. And I mentioned briefly in the Discord before. I think after I reacted to the last episode, I mentioned that Gentle and La Brava were a top tier ship, and I stand by that. And I mean, you could say they're not really a ship because they're canon. But it's like, still, they are a top tier couple in this series, whether real or a ship. They are that good and that believable, that likable as a couple. Like, they were literally made for each other. Horikoshi literally created them to be that strong of a couple. And I think he did an excellent job. And I think that the voice actors performed it amazingly. And I've heard the dub, and the dub voice actors for these two are great as well. Especially with the dub VA for Gentle giving him a kind of notable accent. But seriously, it's like, I really love what just they did with this character. Everything. From just how he's written to how he's portrayed, how he's animated. Everything about it is fantastic. And then also, outside of the entire thing with Eri and the festival and all, another big thing this kind of goes with the festival, but another big thing that this episode did was it developed Kyoka more. And Kyoka's always been a character I've really loved, but I've always wanted to know more about. Yeah, we know what her home life has been like. We know her parents are musicians, all of that jazz. We've seen how she and her parents interact with each other. And Kyoka's not like as minor of a character in the class to where she's gotten no focus in the past. She's definitely had focus before, and she's definitely had plenty of chances to shine. But this episode really did something good for her. Really did something important. Because this character I already liked, it made me, like, invested in her. Like, legitimately invested in her character. Because we learn that she's tried for so long to feel like she has to pick between being a hero and being into music. And when bringing this up to her parents in tears, she told them that she wants to be a hero because it's just so cool, but she doesn't want to abandon the music that her parents brought into her life because she loves that too. And they told her to just do what she wants. That it's her decision and they're not going to force anything on her. And that's, by the way, great parenting. But it's like, I think that the reason we were seeing that during the performance is that while singing, while performing, Kyoka came to realize herself that she didn't need to give up her love of music. She can be a hero, but she can still love and play music at the same time. That it doesn't have to be one or the other. And this is both of her dreams coming together. Performing music with her friends at a hero school, a hero academy. It is literally both of her dreams connecting. And just like how for the first time we saw Eri truly happy, in this episode, we got to see true happiness for Kyoka as well. You saw the thumbnail I chose for this. I could have easily chosen Eri. That would have been perfectly valid. I could have chosen La Brava and or Gentle. I could have chosen Deku. I chose Kyoka because, one, this arc has been building up to this, and two, because I feel this did wonders for her character. This made her character more than just another member of Class A that just happens to be pretty cool. This made her character matter. And that moment, when you see her truly happy, when you see her singing with that big smile on her face, amongst all of the backstory with her and her parents, you understand that this is a dream come true. And honestly, that affected me almost as much as Eri. In fact, in some ways more. Because with Eri, it's like we've only known her for one arc before this. Neighbor's doing something. We only knew her for one arc before this. But Kyoka we've known pretty much since the beginning. And it's like we're getting more and more of these characters. Little bits at a time. We got more with Aoyama this arc as well. And it just shows that Horikoshi is developing all of these students. Just a little bit at a time. And I don't know what's going on up there. A little bit at a time, and I can appreciate that. Some people have said they wish certain characters wouldn't feel like certain classmates wouldn't feel like so much background characters, like Koda or Sato or Toru, the Invisible Girl. People want those kind of characters to get love and attention too, and so do I. I very much do. But I don't want all of these characters to have all of this development so quickly. Because here's the thing. The show is about a certain few characters. Deku, All Might, Bakugo. They're the main characters of this show. And yeah, they should have more focus and attention on them. More of the show should be about them. But the other characters here and there getting attention and focus and little bits at a time, whether it be Uraraka at points, whether it be Ida at points, Sue, Kyoka, Momo, Todoroki, they're side characters to different degrees, but they are all side characters. Even the likes of Uraraka and Ida, who at the beginning most people thought were like, oh, these are going to be partially main characters. No, they weren't. They were never going to be. No, they're all side characters. They're there for the sake of building up Deku and Bakugo, and even to a point All Might. They're there to inspire and drive them to become better. And they've been doing that. Bakugo has grown immensely as a character because of his interactions with the other students, especially the likes of Kirishima, his best friend. Deku has grown, like, insurmountably in his hero work. Not so much in terms of personality and just overall heroic spirit. That's pretty much the same as it was from the beginning. But in terms of his abilities and in terms of the way he looks at certain situations and all, he's grown smarter. He's grown more comprehensive of situations and the world at large. And All Might, I think, blatantly said that he's learned a lot from these students. I mean, obviously Deku for the most part, but still. All Might is continuously shown in this series to not be perfect. In fact, kind of the opposite. He's heavily flawed. And it's one of the biggest reasons why he's such a fantastic character and such a fantastic mentor figure for Deku. Because he's not perfect, because he's flawed, because he has issues and problems, and he's not the best at even being a mentor. But he learns as well from these students, from working with them, from training them, doing these different exercises in the school. He learns from them and understands how this current generation is working as heroes and what they're working to do with their quirks and their heroic spirits and whatnot. So yeah, this show's going to mostly be about them, but we do want to see stuff with these minor characters too, and we do. Again, little bits at a time. And I think that's the right way to handle it, to pace it out like that. And certain characters are going to get more attention based on popularity. Horikoshi's going to write more about Sue or Momo or Kyoka because they're popular. Because the fans want that. Yes, there are still plenty of fans who want more on Toru. There are plenty of fans who want more about Sato. And yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Ojiro is a big example. But in the end, it's not as many people. It just isn't. So Horikoshi's not going to put the effort into developing them as quickly and as early. All of them have gotten some level of development and characterization and notable moments in the show. Literally every single one has. But just, again, to different degrees. And yeah, the ones I mentioned are definitely the ones who have gotten the least and definitely need more. But it's like, again, they're not as popular, so Horikoshi's not going to focus as much on them. Because, let's be honest, Horikoshi is writing a story that he wants to sell to the masses. And if the masses like certain characters more, he's going to try to sell those characters. That's just smart. But, like I said, it's great to see that Horikoshi is still giving plenty to these characters. And you know that at some point we are going to get more with Toru. We are going to get more with Sato. We are going to get more with Koda. It might take a while. It might take years. But it will happen. So just be patient. Just be patient. And enjoy the show for what it is and what it's doing. Or the manga if you read that. But now, I will quickly touch on how this all ended. So, like I said, someone in my Discord mentioned that if a couple things had just been switched around a little, this could have easily been the final episode. And yes, it very easily could have. Like, not even without a doubt. Or without a doubt, this easily could have been the final episode. And that leaves me to wonder, what are these next two episodes going to be about? I assume that part of them are going to be setting up for the future, for the next season, of course. And I assume that some of them are probably just going to be the aftermath. But even so, that could all be done in one episode. So it's like, I don't know what to expect here. And, well, I'm interested to find out. Because it's like, I just don't know. Because I don't know where the series is going. I don't read the manga, so it's like, I'm anime only. I only know as much as the anime has shown me. So it's like, I don't know what to expect next. I don't know, like, if we're going to get anything with the League of Villains, if we're going to get anything with any of the pros, if we're going to get anything with other characters. Um, I don't know. We'll have to find out. As always, no spoilers in the comments, please. I wish to remain spoiler free. That is how I prefer to watch pretty much everything. um, but yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very interested. And this episode was phenomenal. It was just a really great episode. It ended off a lot for this arc in a really satisfying way. And yeah, it implied that Eri will be returning as well. I almost forgot to mention that. Aizawa mentioned to Deku, it's like, oh, you'll be able to see her again soon. It's like, so that kind of implies that Eri will be returning. Um, I don't know in what way or to what degree, but she will be. So that will be interesting to see as well. Maybe that will have something to do with these final two episodes. I don't know. Um, and I could talk about the other random stuff we saw at the festival, like the beauty pageant, the play that 1B put on, the haunted house we very briefly saw, and stuff like that. But it's like all of that stuff was basically filler. It was just stuff to fill time and space and all. And while it was fun to see, it wasn't anything big and important. It was cool seeing Nejire win the beauty pageant. She definitely deserves it because she's goddamn gorgeous. It's really cool to see Shinso, even if he's just working in the haunted house and you only see him for a brief second. um, it's fun getting those shots of those two ships that I wholeheartedly support and love. As I mentioned during the reaction, you had a shot of Sue and her Araka together, and you had a shot of Momo and Kyoka together. That they were very heavily focused on in the shots, so it's clear that there was definitely some playing with the ships there. Because those are two of the bigger ships of the show, for sure. Alongside the likes of Deku and Uraraka, Bakugo and Kirishima, so on and so forth. Aizawa and Present Mike for some reason. um, but in all seriousness, it's like I could talk about those things. But there's not a lot to really say. So it's like me just like briefly mentioning them here is like, yeah, it was fun. It was good, harmless fun. Like there was nothing big to it. There was nothing special to it. I didn't dislike it. I don't think the episode would have been better without it. I thought it definitely was good. But it's like, there's not really much to actually mention. You know? Um, and yeah. Yeah. Uh, I just have no idea where this series is going from here, though. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out because we've got a lot of setup for the future still. Um, we've got a lot. This arc alone did things like it has Endeavor vowing to be a better person. If he actually does or not, we'll see. But so we have that. We have mentions of these other villain groups that were very briefly mentioned. I don't even remember what they're called. I think one was like Liberation Front or something like that. I don't even fully remember. But like there are these other villains mentioned very briefly at one point. Um, and then you have the setup with just Deku learning his moves more and stuff. So it's like there's plenty of setup for the future. I just don't know where any of it's going to go right now. Like I said, like I've been saying, we'll see. um, but that's pretty much all I've got to talk about today. because honestly, I want to get back to playing more Animal Crossing. um, Even though I'm not actually doing too much in that at the moment. I think I'm just trying to collect money. But even so, um, yeah, and there's other stuff I want to do as well, of course. But yeah, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of My Hero Academia, and thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, that won't get in the way of me doing other reactions and stuff this week. One thing you can definitely expect this week is a reaction to episodes 7 through 10 of Owl House. In fact, I want to make that the next reaction I get to. So expect that and more this week. In the meantime, though, thank you once again. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.